Do you eat the kiwi skin? No, right? You can?
Occasionally I do, but it's easy enough to peel it off that I usually don't.
Oh my god. I can't even imagine biting kiwi
Yeah,
skin.
it's kind of like little leather. Or, not to put this image in your head, a little bit like a testicle. Hey! Peel those bananas, folks. It's time to do a fruit tier list. Okay?
Woo!
Here in the break room, we've done tier lists as a format before. We've done Marvel movies.
Yes.
We've done Halloween candies.
Uh-huh.
Was that a tier list or was that a bracket?
It was a bracket, and then we were thinking about revisiting it. We did some horror movies. We've done some rom-coms. We did Thanksgiving food last year, but this year, you're gonna be watching this. This will come out on Black Friday or the day after Black Friday, and you'll be like, man, I've been eating so well, but I'm in a little bit of a food coma. You know what you're gonna need? A little bit of fruit.
That's right. Some potassium, some fiber, some minerals, your micronutrients. Okay, or you just want to satisfy a sweet tooth, and goddamn it, you've already had too many cookies. You know what I mean?
That's true.
I'm a big fan of fruit. Here, I had a podcast once called Fruitful. I actually have some merch here. Don't look it up. If you think, if you're the kind of person that complains about the audio quality of the break room, oh boy, the audio quality on my fruit podcast, tin can level. But it speaks to, I've had a long passion for eating, buying, learning about fruit specifically. And so I'm excited to do this. We want to hear from you though. We'll be going to the live chat to get reactions, thoughts, votes. Will not sway me very much because trust me, I've already put a lot of thought into all of this.
Yeah, I'm both going to be the voice of the chat today and the voice for myself. I definitely have some opinions on some of these fruit that Zach, you made the list of all the fruit that we'll be ranking. So if some of your favorite fruit didn't make it to the list, let us know in a comment or in the live chat. If you let us know in the live chat, listen, if we try to add a fruit, the whole system's going to break, so we can't do it.
And now, we are literally comparing apples to oranges. Okay? I understand that. How do you compare these things? So here's what I am internally using as my metric for like what makes something S tier, A tier, B tier, whatever, right? Like, so deliciousness obviously is the most important thing.
Yeah.
How tasty is something? When you see something sitting in front of you, how excited do you get to eat it, right? But there's some other important factors beyond just deliciousness, okay? 2, I call it user friendliness. Okay. How easy is it for you to grab something, throw it in the bag, and trust that it will be delicious? Versus like, I'm gonna need a paring knife and 45 minutes to get into this pomegranate. Spoiler warning: pomegranates suck for this reason. Okay. Pomegranates are low on the user friendly list, and there's some others on that list as well. As opposed to an apple, a banana. Very user-friendly.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Banana comes in its own carrying case.
Yeah.
You can have filthy hands and eat a banana.
Oh my God.
I
I got so scared that I forgot to eat my banana today and that I was just sitting there just like, collecting, just ripening over time in the producer desk. I got so scared.
Ripening over time? What, like 2 hours?
Listen, you don't know how, sometimes these bananas go quick.
And then my 2 last things. I'm going to assume, whenever we are talking about a fruit, I'm going to assume it is ripe and it is in season.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not talking about February watermelons or like a hard pear or something like that, right? Like, I'm assuming it is being eaten under ideal conditions in the right season. You've gotten it from a good provider, whatever, right? This is not a beaten up apple or a moldy peach or something like that.
February watermelon, great improv team name. Great post-punk name. Band name. February watermelon, so good. Hard pear, also very good.
Hard pear, that's my genre.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the final thing, I do give it's not a huge score modifier, but just a bonus point here or there for specialness, right? When something feels special, like apples, oranges, bananas, those are great. Those are staples of a lot of our diets.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily special.
Sure.
Whereas a pluot comes down that aisle. You know what I'm saying? A longan, a star fruit, right? Like,
Starfruit is good. Yeah,
that might not necessarily taste better than a good ripe apple, but it gets a little bonus point for feeling special.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's already a lot of opinions in the chat right now about fruits, about the choice for me to take off my jacket and put on my hat, as if I'm getting serious. I like this point from Savvy. This is going to come up, I'm sure, again, but bananas get a ding because they are so delicate. We have already lost multiple species of banana due to disease we are not able to fight.
That's right.
It's true. The main banana that you eat,
The Cavendish.
Cavendish,
Yes.
you know, that is like the current banana. And
It's
there
the
used to be
dominant
other
banana in
ones.
North America and Europe. You go down to South America or Africa, they have a lot of other varieties, but the primary mass agriculture produced banana is just one variety. And if like a fungus comes along that wipes out the variety, our bananas are screwed. But we're not talking geopolitics here, okay? We're talking fruit rankings.
All right. Bring up the tier list, Matt. One last comment before we get into it. Elijah Dante saying my two favorite fruits are generic, Jnnerik, generic maybe, which is a sour green plum that looks like an adorable green apple, and green mango, which is just a mango but still unripe and green. They're much harder and sour, like natural sour candy, and it's a delicacy in Latin America. You're gonna even add spices to make it savory. I've never had mango like that.
Well, isn't when you get like a mango salad at a Thai restaurant?
Oh,
Isn't
that's
that a green mango?
I think so. It must be. Yeah,
I've never made that, but it doesn't have the sweet mushiness of
Yeah.
ripe mango. So there's something going on there that makes it a little more slaw-like. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Look at this. Now, I will say, thank you for all these chats. Also, hard disagree there. I will be... No. Your opinions are fine. Though I've never heard of a generic or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm excited to learn about new fruits. But I will say I will be overly weighing my tier rankings towards out-of-hand eating. So, I'm going to ding anything that needs to be cooked.
Yeah.
Anything that cannot just be eaten as a raw fruit. So, like plantains, though delicious
Yeah.
in so many cuisines.
Yeah.
I will not be, I don't even think we're ranking plantains. Maybe we are. But I will not be putting those high just because they have to be cooked.
I think I see plantains
Same with
on the
cranberries. Nobody's popping a handful of cranberries into their mouth. So those are getting low rankings for me.
Can we add an F tier, Matt?
Yeah. I like this already. And I guess we'll talk as we go. Obviously, there are a number of fruits that come in different varieties. We already kind of mentioned that there's a variety of
Apples?
bananas.
Yeah.
Apples, you get your Granny Smith, you get your Fuji, your Gala, your Honey Crisp, your Cosmic Crisp, your Envies. And so we will probably, unless otherwise stated, be kind of lumping in all varieties together. Again, assuming it's at its best or whatever, but it looks like we do have a couple apples to rank.
Yeah, so that green apple up first, right?
Yeah, okay. So that's a green apple, a Granny Smith apple.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this is the dictionary definition of a B tier.
Yeah, I was going to say the same exact thing. Yeah, I actually had a Granny Smith for the first time pretty recently. Not when we did our office apple tasting. We did an apple tasting with the new Rockstars staff, which was very fun. But yeah, I was like, you know what? I've grown up with like red apples my whole life, but having this green apple, yeah, not bad.
Here's the thing about a green apple, okay? And I'm an old man, okay? So I've been eating apples since way back. And back in the day, in the 90s, a lot of times, Granny Smith might have been the best apple you could get. When you had Red Delicious, the yellow one, and the Granny Smith to pick from, a lot of times, Granny Smith was the best option, especially it's tart. Goes really good if you're putting peanut butter on there. If you're baking something
peanut
like
butter.
that.
Yeah.
I will say it gets dinged for that tartness, makes it a little tough to just eat. You get a little bit of tooth pain sometimes there. And just apples have evolved since then. We've got a lot of better varieties. So that's a B tier.
Yeah.
Again, it's not a bad eat, but the world has moved on. Okay, next it looks like we are looking down. Is this a peach?
This is, I guess, actually really quick. Matt, this is the order that this is in the order that we got the list.
No, I don't think so. I think this next one is an apricot.
Oh, an
Okay,
apricot.
okay. Also,
Okay.
you can cut back to us full screen if we're talking a bunch. But yeah,
Okay.
feel free. Yeah.
You got it.
Cool.
Okay, up next we've got an apricot. Okay, now I'm gonna say this is a D tier fruit.
Whoa.
Okay, this is one of my first hot takes. I've bought a lot of fresh apricots, and they are almost never good. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Here's what I'd say. I love a dried apricot as a flavoring in a pastry, apricot jam, something like that. It's nice. out of hand. They're rarely that good.
Sure.
Okay, they're very delicate. I feel like it's hard to pick out when they are ripe versus when they are not. So they're not very user friendly. And I will say that the hybrids, like a pluot, a plumcot, where they're mixing plums and apricots, all taste better than a straight up apricot. So it is, again, this is just like eating it raw out of hand. It's D tier for me.
All right, I'm waiting to see the polls. Actually, apricot's running away. D or below. I would have said C. Actually,
Well, we got to leave some room in there.
I also love Catholic Night saying, "Okay, what is an apricot?"
Okay, you know what? Head to you might need to go to a Whole Foods or a Sprouts or whatever your better market in your area is. They don't have these at every grocery store.
Yeah.
But this is a classic. I feel like it makes me think of England. It's one like currants and apricots. I don't know.
That's a good point.
Feels like an old world fruit that is maybe not as popular.
Even Ryan Painter already chiming in to say it's apricot to me. Ryan Painter, of course, UK viewer. Yes, apricot.
Apricot.
Yes, 50% of the votes right now saying D or below. So I feel all right. I'll go with chat on this. We'll keep it in D. Elijah Dante also clarifying their fruit from earlier. Jan Urich. The fun factor and user friendliness are so great and easy to share. We'll look it up in a little bit.
Man, I also gotta say, I'm in Los Angeles where we not only have a lot of good, they grow a lot of the fruit in North America, in California, but also we have so many great ethnic markets. You can go to an Asian market or South American markets, all these kinds of things. I've been to all of them. I've never seen that fruit. So you have found a good one. Please let me know where I could purchase one of these fruits. I'm willing to try it. Okay, up next. Is this a plum?
You're gonna have to help me with this one. It's one of those hybrid ones.
Okay, so maybe this is a pluot or a plumcot or an aprium.
It is either a aprium or a what was that other one you just said? That first one?
Pluot or plumcot?
It's one of those.
Okay. We'll just group all these together because honestly, when you buy them in the store, it's hard to tell the difference. These are great. Okay, and this is what science can do for us, folks. Okay, you take a plum that's okay, an apricot that's maybe meh, mix them together, and you actually get a great fruit. Okay, here's what all of these hybrids have in common: they're sweeter than plums in general, right? And also, plum's not always user-friendly. If you get one that's not quite right, it's bitter, and it's too
bitter.
hard. Yeah. You don't get the juiciness, right? I feel like these have a much broader window of deliciousness. All of this category of hybrid plum apricots, I feel like are B tier for me.
Oh,
Real
okay.
solid.
Yeah, I can't, say off the top of my head if I've had one of these before, but I do like the kind of how, I mean, the same way apples, there's so many different types of apples, right? The things that we are doing in science to make make new fruits.
These sometimes come in fun varieties like dinosaur egg. And they sometimes have fun names because they can be kind of dappled and have fun colors. And that one, really dark red, almost blood red flesh, and kind of purple. These are tasty, usually around in the summer when the other stone fruits are coming out, when peaches and those things are out. So check these out if you haven't tried one of these.
Yeah, really quick, hey, shout out Baskin Robbins in South Korea for Dino Jelly ice cream. That stuff is so good.
What does that even taste like?
It's a green ice cream with some little jellies in it, and it just, oh god, it was so good.
Damn, that sounds
good. Hey, Baskin Robbins South Korea, it's popping off.
Let's go. Up next, speaking of South Korea, is this an Asian pear?
Yes, Asian pear.
We got going with. And obviously sometimes these are called Korean pears, sometimes these are called whatever Chinese pears, but the white-fleshed, crisp Asian
Cold
pear.
Skin.
Dog,
this
is S tier.
S tier. Wow.
This is S tier.
I was expecting A, and I will happily go with S because this is the fruit I grew up with. This is the fruit my mom was saying, you gotta eat some fruit, and throwing these pears at me. Not actually throwing the pears at me, but
This is a great fruit. Here's a couple reasons. It's better than a normal pear. Again, regular pears, you have to deal with is it ripe?
Yes.
Is it not?
Yeah.
Do I have to sit this on my counter for 3 weeks? Oh shit, I missed the window and now it's too ripe and now it's gone or whatever. Not an issue with these. You eat them like an apple. Mm-hmm. They're crisp, right? They are great out of the store. Also, man, a cold Asian pear sliced up.
So good. Yeah, I mean, that's all my mom would just have
it's
that.
Juicy, it's crisp, it's sweet, it's got a great texture. I mean, you could do some cheese, like a charcuterie board type of situation with this.
Oh, cheese.
I've never baked with them, but I know you can make a nice pie or a tart with these. Again, they're not omnipresent They can sometimes be expensive. If you see them in a non-ethnic grocery store, or like maybe you can't even get them in some parts of the world. But like when you come across a good Asian pear, ooh, it's hard to beat.
Yeah, I'm seeing the poll right now is swinging to A. Listen, Zach and I are gonna override you here. It's an S.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, up next, and now, yes, this is a fruit, an avocado. Okay, this might be the furthest we get away from. I mean, I guess we got eggplant, we got cucumbers coming up. Again, anything with a seed is a fruit. An avocado's got a big old fat baseball-sized seed there in the middle.
It's got a big old
seed, and it's right in the middle. Al Pacino making an appearance. Okay, I love avocados. Now, it will get dinged in this rankings for the reasons I stated earlier. Eating out of hand. I know there's some weirdos out there that just nosh into an avocado. That ain't me. I mean, I'll put it on a bagel. I'll put it on a sandwich.
I mean, if you're a weirdo that eats an avocado like that, and you say that in the chat right now, I am unfortunately going to judge you forever. And I'll remember your name.
And it's like, yeah, people are like, oh, you just salt it. And, dude, no. Come on. So I would say that it dings it for that. I will also say the user-friendliness gets a little bit of a ding with again, it must
Everyone's
be right.
going to the hospital. They're cutting their hands trying to get these things open.
If I've gashed my hand once, I've gashed my hand 5 times from trying to pop out that seed, or it's slipping or whatever. So not the most user-friendly.
Yeah.
It has to be eaten with something else, unlike a banana, an apple, or whatever. So like, but that said, damn, is there anything better on a taco, in a burrito, even on toast, the avocado toast phenomenon? I mean, it's also one of the heartiest things you'll see on here. One of the most filling. You get a nice dose of healthy fats and fiber and all that kind of jazz.
Good substitute there.
But all that said, feels like a B tier to me.
Yeah.
Feels B.
I mean, here's the thing. If this was only on Deliciousness, right? If you hadn't outlined the rest of those things, dude, avocados would be D tier for me right now. I am so burnt on avocados because if you have a bad, Brian, sit down. If you have a bad, I had a bad avocado, like sliced up on toast. That avocado tasted so bad that now
it goes rancid.
I can't eat avocados
Well,
again.
I think it's like on both ends of the spectrum. Like, you could do like, people have different preferences on their bananas, and we'll get to bananas in a moment. I like my bananas a little bit more brown, but I'll eat a greener banana, and it's
100%,
fine.
yeah.
You eat a green avocado, it's styrofoam or just rubber, right? You're eating a wetsuit. You eat an overripe avocado, and it's rancid.
Really
it's eating garbage, right?
So it's really turned me off now from like, legitimately, I'll look at the avocados in the store and be like, oh God, I would really like to eat this, but I'm so scared it's gonna go bad, or I'll forget that you have to plan your week.
And even when you buy them at the store, sometimes they'll have like very ripe avocados, but that fucker's getting all squished up and bruised by the time you get it home. You almost have to buy it hard, and then it's buying an annuity and hoping that it's gonna pay off at some point in the future.
Chow is going C or D, so I feel good putting it at the bottom of B tier just because of its pure versatility, right?
Yes.
And I'll side with that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, looks like up next. Now, we have 2 different pineapples on our list. Maybe this first is a baby pineapple. Now, again, this is a little bit more obscure. This is a specialty. I'll also throw in like pink pineapples fall into this. There's a couple different varieties, most of which are made by Dole. Like a baby gold or like golden pineapple or whatever. These are smaller, sweeter pineapples than the kind of traditional varieties. Some of these they also have a thinner skin, and you could technically eat them out of hand. You could eat the skin technically.
Oh wow!
On some of these smaller ones.
Oh, I guess it wouldn't. Yeah, not as hard. Okay,
it's not as hard. I mean, it's still not like a great experience, but technically you can. These are really good. I'm a fan of pineapples.
Yeah, me too.
And these are like the fancier, more advanced versions.
Do you put your pineapple in salt water before you eat it?
Ooh, what is this? I've never heard about
interesting. Well, okay.
Pineapple and salt
Well, I
water.
think some people get like it irritates their mouth because it can be so acidic. So sometimes what I've seen people do is they'll cut up pineapple, they'll put it in salt water a little bit to take some of that away, so it won't like affect your mouth. Sometimes I feel like you get too much of the saltiness on the pineapple, which is not, obviously you put pineapple with like ham and stuff like that. It's not the end of the world, but when you're just eating pure pineapple, you just got the salt. It's a little much, but I was just curious.
And I will say I'll take that into consideration because I hear you on the like maybe some mouth discomfort, some tooth pain. You might get some mouth sores or something like that. Maybe if you're prone to acid reflux.
Yes.
This is a high acid fruit. So like you can't eat a whole one.
Yeah.
Or you shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
But like, boy, it can be the all-star of a fruit salad.
Yeah. So,
you know
but
what I mean?
baby pineapple, more acidic or less acidic?
They're a little bit sweeter and a little
Okay.
less acidic,
Got
I
it.
think, than traditional pineapple.
Okay.
So like, I would say I'd put this B tier, but it
tier?
might be near the top of the B.
75% of the chat saying "what the fuck" to a baby pineapple. They'd have never heard of it. I've added WTF as an option.
It's the veal of pineapple.
So we are ordering tiers.
What? Yes. Yeah. Order.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
We'll see. We're trying to make it as complicated
in
as possible.
In your tenure working at the Super Walmart, did you ever work with baby pineapples?
No, I have never come across a baby pineapple, but that sounds sick.
They're pretty tough, and I don't see them that often. But when you come across one, if you come across one of these pink pineapples or one of these like little yellow golds or whatever they're called, grab one. They are so tasty. Okay, up next, a staple food. You know, I think it's like more people eat some variety of banana on a daily basis than like any other food. It's I think it's
100%.
after rice. It is the number 2 staple food in the world, and it's largely
Wow.
driven by it's such a big crop in Africa and South
Yeah.
America, right?
Yeah.
Like again, plantains kind of get lumped into bananas.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact: bananas are a grass.
What?
Bananas grow. Technically, a banana tree is not a tree; it's a grass.
Are you kidding me? I've been eating grass every morning.
Yes, you have. You've been eating
Oh
the fruit of a grass. Bananas are great, and I think we can overlook them because they're so omnipresent and everywhere. But God damn it, they're solid.
Yeah.
They come with their own carrying case.
Yep. Take it on the
A
go.
ripe banana, man. I like a mushy. I like it to take it right up to that edge.
Real okay. So what does that mean? What is the coloration on
So
the
as
the
a
skin
banana
look like
ripens,
there?
as it goes from like greenish yellow to dark, that is the carbohydrates in it are converting to sugars.
Right. So
So
sweeter.
technically, a brown banana is sweeter, less starchy than like a greener banana. But everybody can have their personal preference.
So you're going like 75% brown.
Yeah, I like speck. I don't want it like full blown black. Usually,
Yeah,
then
it's
it
too
starts to get a little
far, yeah.
funky. But like, I can go pretty close to full blown black. Yeah. Great in a smoothie. Great out of hand on cereal, on oatmeal.
I mean, is it bottom of S? Top of bottom of S?
It might need to be A. It might need to be our first A. I gotta leave some room. It could
Singing
be
the
bumped,
praises.
but
Dude, I've never seen the chat so split before so far today. 46% of the votes saying A, 37% saying D or below.
Whoa.
The Twitch chat hates bananas.
Banana haters.
If you're watching on YouTube and you're a banana stan, leave a comment.
that's right. And also, don't hold against it that it's one of the worst artificial flavors known to
Yeah,
man.
don't.
Banana flavored candy is almost universally disgusting.
Hot take, I love it.
What?
I love it. I
Okay.
love it. A banana Laffy Taffy,
Oh.
dude. I've been eating all those in the office. Eric brought in all that candy from Halloween. I was like, where's the banana Laffy Taffy?
And it was all left for you, Evan, because nobody else wanted it. Up next, I literally had these for
Today?
lunch.
Oh, I saw it.
Blackberries. Blackberries. I'm a big berry fan in general. I will be rating berries high. Blackberries might be my favorite berry.
Really?
They
Why
are
is that?
consistently. I dig. As a child, I didn't love the texture, kind of the
Yes,
graininess of the
I
little
agree.
seed nodes. But as an adult, I love that texture. They are consistently I find to be one of the best mixes of bitter and sweet of the berries. And they are. This is most berries, but visually very easy to pick out good ones, right? As long as it's not
Yes, that's
mushy
true.
and
That
wet,
is true.
it's going to be good. And you don't always know how sweet or whatever, but I found, again, we live in California where they grow most of North America's berries. We get good berries here almost year round, and blackberries are always delicious.
So, okay. Interesting. So I feel like I would put blackberries in A tier. I would agree they're the best of the berries.
Yeah.
Raspberries, though.
I'm high on raspberries.
Interesting.
I'm high on raspberries, too.
I think they get mushy too quick.
Yeah, raspberries.
But we're
yeah.
talking about
they're
talking about
delicate. They're more
prime
delicate.
ripeness,
They're
right?
more delicate. Agreed.
Yeah.
But so let's do A tier for blackberries, and it looks like the very next one is blueberries.
Blueberries.
Its brother. Okay, now blueberry as a flavor, nice flavor.
Good flavor.
A blueberry
Yeah.
Dessert, a pie or something
Love
like
it.
that.
A blueberry
bar.
Pop-Tart, even that artificial Pop-Tart flavor. Hey, I'm
Not
here.
bad. I feel like texture,
Yeah.
Not great. It has kind of the mushiness of it's can be a little too pillowy. They're a little bit more delicate than a blackberry, so they can pivot from being good to bad. I just had some blueberries last night. They were very nice. I feel like now you can get these big, fat, extra big, fat, juicy blueberries that are better.
Yeah.
But I will say, in general, these are one of the lower berries.
I think so. I think they're a little overrated.
This might be our first C tier.
I think C tier feels good for that. Also, the chat was saying blackberry's S. Do we bump it up? Do we bump up blackberry to bottom of S tier?
We got so many fruits left, guys. It could be top of A. It's top of A, and it might work its way up.
Bump it up in front of bananas.
Now, we're getting into our first melon.
Okay.
Okay. Now, melon as a genre,
divisive.
Yes, divisive. Not for me. I love them all. I understand other people. It's like you've got to have the insider knowledge to pick these out.
Yes, you do.
Right? Like the difference between a ripe and an unripe cantaloupe is night and day. Shout outs to our friends, I believe in Australia, they call these musk melons. They might do that in some places in Europe too.
You think they'll rebrand because of Elon?
Damn, dude. Call them Elon melons instead. Tesla melons.
Tesla melons.
Yeah, well, but they're called musk melons, and this is a key if you're shopping for these because they get a little funky when they're ripe. And so the best way to pick out a good cantaloupe is to right where the little like stem, the belly button area, if you kind of press that with your finger and it's a little soft, and maybe you get off an odor of like a ripe fruit odor, that's how you know you're getting a good cantaloupe. I love cantaloupes. Love them. When you get a ripe one.
Yeah. Cantaloupe's pretty good.
In the summertime.
Yeah.
I mean, now, it might not even be top 2 melons for me, because I got some other strong feelings about the other melons.
Oh, God.
But it is great. One of the things I look forward to when warm weather comes along is cantaloupe season.
Wow.
These are great. And, like, they're cheap. They're really good for you. Now, you can't eat them out of hand. There's a little bit of a learning curve there. They're not always easy to buy.
Yes, yeah, you can't eat them out of hand.
You buy these out of season,
bad?
Awful.
And that's what you normally would get in like a cup of fruit at like the
a bad fruit salad.
Yeah,
it's always like flavorless cantaloupe.
Wow, just like banana, chat is split. People are spending channel points to duke it out between S or D or below for cantaloupe.
Ooh.
There is no in between. There are like 2 votes in between.
There is an in between, and I think this is a solid B. Solid B. I'm looking forward to it. But I think it does have some downs to it.
Oh, and just some cantaloupe facts from the chat right now. Shri is saying that they're also called muskmelons in India.
Oh.
And Elijah Dante says, I'm assuming they're referring to Australia, where they are. They're called rock melons, or they have always called them rock melons.
Okay, yeah.
Wow. Brenna in the chat contributing 5,000 channel points to get cantaloupe in S tier. Woo!
We can take it under consideration. The advisory panel will take it under consideration. Okay, up next. Is that a cherimoya?
Probably. You're going to have to tell me.
I believe that is a cherimoya up next.
I have never heard of
now,
a cherimoya
this, for folks that are not from the southwestern United States, or I think it's a popular fruit in Mexico and maybe Central America, but like I'd never had one before I moved to California. They're kind of like a pear banana hybrid. They have kind of big hard seeds in them, but the flesh is like very sweet and has almost like a soapy kind of floral taste and scent to it. But then like kind of a very mushy kind of ripe banana type texture to it. These are weird. These definitely get the bonus point for feeling special and unique. There's not a lot of other fruits that are like these, but I think they are very obscure, hard to find, and that flavor that's kind of potpourri.
Yeah, I was going to say, does that throw you off a little bit?
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
Okay.
It's not for everybody. I like it, but like there's a reason you're not seeing this in a lot of fruit salads or juices or whatever. Yeah. So like this is like, thanks for coming to the party, cherimoya, but you are a C tier, I will say. I'm not mad at it, but up next,
I'm the cherimoya of social events.
Are we going alphabetic?
No, I think it did.
Yeah,
I think it rearranged
the
it
A's and now B's, and now we're getting into the C's because this is a cherry. Okay.
Also, everyone is bookmarking your podcast to listen to later, so get ready for a bunch of new downloads.
I think the last episode of that was with my then girlfriend, now wife.
Fun.
And that's the reason I stopped doing the podcast. I started that podcast when I was unemployed and single, and then by the end I had a job and I had a wife. So if there's anything I guess that's a good sales pitch for start your own podcast, folks. And then I never made another episode. Okay, cherries are great. And I'm lumping in, I don't think we have another spot for like Rainier cherries, those kind of orangey pinky ones.
Yeah, this is
that
just
are kind of
cherries.
the even tastier hybrid ones. Unless is that Rainier cherry?
There's a separate one down there.
We do have a separate entry for Rainier. So these are just the classic red Bing variety of cherries. These are great.
No.
Oh,
I hate cherries.
what?
I mean, besides the fact that I'm allergic, even when I was fighting through the allergies and eating cherries, I hate cherries, man.
I would say a couple things that ding cherries. They're expensive.
Yeah, they are expensive. Yeah.
Like they're like $5-6 a pound compared to like half that for apples and other stuff. Very limited seasons. You only see these tiny windows in your supermarkets. Now that makes them feel special, but that also means they can't be a big part of your diet for long periods. I hear you on that. You might have swayed me a little bit. I mean it's a great flavor.
What's your ideal cherry? Insane sentence. What's your ideal cherry size? They're like.
I mean, they're all the same size, aren't they? What are you talking about?
I guess I'm thinking like maraschino cherries are tiny, right?
Yeah, I mean, Doug, when I get my old fashions, I want a bunch of maraschino cherries. But we're not saying treated processed fruits. We're saying out of hand. And I will say they do get a ding. Those seeds are a pain. If I bring in a bag of cherries to the office, I need like a spit cup
you need
for the
cup.
seeds.
Yeah,
and even like if you're halving them and popping the seeds out, your fingers get all stained. It's kind of a mess. So I hear you, Evan. You've swayed me. C tier.
C tier, yeah. C for cherry. C for cherry.
Rainier cherries are so much better than regular cherries. I got to leave some ceiling there. Okay, looks like next we have a coconut.
And chat went A for the cherries, just so you know.
Ooh,
they're on your
okay,
side
big
there.
divergence.
Coconut. Coconut, I mean, loses the ability for the usability, right? I mean, the truly maybe one of the hardest fruits on the list to just kind of like get anything out of it.
Yeah.
And
also, are we talking the coconut water? Are we talking coconut flesh?
Yeah.
I love like coconut as a flavoring and like shaved coconut on.
I go back and forth.
Whatever,
I used to really not like it as a kid, and then I came around on it. Yeah.
No, it is and I'm a texture guy, and coconut has a fun texture.
That's true, yeah.
But I would say for all the reasons we named, that like that's a hard eat. It's literally hard to like cut it up and eat it. They're not necessarily widely available.
C for coconut?
C for coconut.
C for
feels
coconut.
appropriate in multiple ways. Okay.
Green grapes.
Next, green grapes.
Green grapes. I guess before we even do this, what is your preference on grapes? Is it green grapes or like red grapes or purple grapes?
I probably lean red. In my
I
brain,
lean
red
red
are
too.
slightly sweeter and green are a little more tart, right?
I don't know if I would agree with that, but
That might be
the
a visual
flavoring
trick.
is different. Yeah,
Might be a visual trick. And we were saying seedless on all of these.
Yes.
Because if you put
dude,
a
the
seeded
seed
grape in front of me,
oh my God.
get out of here. What is this?
Dude.
The 1950s?
Talk about being the cherimoya of the party.
That's right. Even those big old, sometimes they have big old globe grapes. It's like, wow, those are huge and they look tasty. They got nasty ass seeds
in it.
inside.
I know. Oh, a seeded
Never.
grape.
Never.
Oh my God.
Green
I
grape.
get it. Grapes need to reproduce, but chill out.
Chill out. Green grapes. These are solid, but
I think so,
I like
yeah.
red better. So these feel C tier.
C tier, yeah. Yeah. Top of C, better than blueberries?
Top of C.
Better than or
Yeah.
worse than blueberries?
I put them right after. I think that's, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good
put
spot.
top of
That's a
C.
good spot.
This is pomegranate, right? No. This
Cranberries.
is
Cranberries. Okay. We're coming up on Thanksgiving. That's really the one day of the year cranberries get to shine. But this is the definition of an F tier fruit right here, folks.
Oh.
You're not eating these out of hand. I know you're not because you can't. They've got to be cooked,
so much.
and you get a big old ding if you must be cooked. I like the tartness.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, the objective, it's all about the usability, right? Like,
Yes.
I think that's the thing. Like, by these rankings, like, I mean, I'm a big cranberry fan, but you're right. I'm not eating them straight out of the bag.
Also,
you know?
I think if it wasn't for like, and to be fair, cranberries are like, I think they are indigenous to North America. They're one of the few things that, right, is from here. It's kind of like woven into American culture with our holidays and how we use them around the holidays and stuff like that. But if it wasn't for that, if you just replaced cranberries and everything with like strawberries,
Yeah.
not only do you not miss cranberries, I think the strawberry thing would be better.
Yeah,
So
it would be.
those
a
are my
lot
thoughts.
better. Oh,
F tier.
Man.
Ooh.
F tier cranberry. Also, everyone's really mad at us about coconut. They want us to move coconut down.
Down.
I don't know. Coconut C tier, Eric?
Are we ranking fruit?
Yeah.
Coconut's not a fruit.
Yes, it is. Aaron.
Well,
Where's the seed in a coconut, Zach?
It is. It's like in a shell or something like that. It's a fruit. It's a
That
fruit.
doesn't count.
It's a fruit.
Is a sunflower seed a fruit?
No.
getting my daily dose of fruits from sunflower seeds.
Okay. Oh, people wanting him even lower. Interesting. But up next, I'm excited about this one. A dragon fruit.
Dragon fruit.
Which I believe like the Thai name is like Pattaya or something like that. It has a obviously not a non-English name as well.
Yeah.
Dragon fruits are amazing. I feel
think
like
they're
especially
really
in the
good.
last 10 years, they're much more available than they used to.
Becoming mainstream.
Yes, you occasionally even see the reversed ones. Like most of them have the white speckled flesh.
Oh,
but sometimes you see ones that have like the purple speckled flesh.
Sure.
Either way, they're fun. I mean, this gets all the bonus points for like a fun gimmick. They look incredible. They've got a cool name. They're totally different from anything you've eaten. I will say, they're not S tier flavor wise.
No, they're a little like watery, right?
Yeah,
they don't.
They look cooler than they taste. They still taste good, not great. They look great.
Yeah, they look great.
And they're just like funky if you've never had one of these. The flesh is a lot like a kiwi, and it has kind of like a little bit of the like tiny greeny seeds of like a strawberry or a kiwi or something like that.
Yeah. Dragon fruit compared to kiwi is interesting too. So I do want to. We should jump the order once we do dragon fruit. But comparing those two is very interesting.
Yes.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
Dragon fruit more. Yeah, a little bit more grainy.
And a
little
thick
bit more,
skin that is inedible. You got to get through
Sure.
that. They're also a little bit more expensive, a little bit harder to find. So there's some demerits there. So these, though it gets the big bonus point for being maybe the coolest named fruit out there.
Easy.
And one of the coolest looking, B. This is a B for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that feels good. Bottom B feels good. I also like Savvy saying they're the LaCroix of fruit. That's very funny.
Fruit. Yeah.
Popping in to say one of our sponsors this week is Via, makers of premium federally legal cannabis products. This holiday season, unwind and recharge with Via. Whether you're enjoying a quiet evening at home or embracing the festive cheer, Via's premium THC and THC-free gummies will help you find your perfect holiday balance. I, for one, am looking forward to treating myself to an Elevate gummy on Thanksgiving and burrowing into a bowl of stuffing. All of Via's products are grown indoors in state-of-the-art facilities and harvested at peak THCA levels to emphasize a natural aroma and flavor. They add strains to their selection every week, so there's always something new to check out. Via has THC and THC-free gummies, vapes, topicals, and drops, all of which are crafted with the highest quality hemp sourced from trusted, independently owned American farms. Plus, Via legally ships to nearly all states in the US in discreet packaging directly to your door with a worry-free guarantee. No medical card required. This holiday season, gift yourself some peace of mind. If you're 21 and over, check out the link to Via in our description. For a limited time during the holidays, Via is offering 25% off site-wide, plus up to 50% off select items and bundle. It's a pretty good deal. And if you're hearing about this ad post-sale, you can still save by using code BREAKROOM for 25% off. After you purchase, they ask where you heard about them, and please let them know you heard it from the Break Room. This holiday season, enhance your everyday with Via. All right, back to you guys. All right, so let's jump to kiwi really quick if you can find it. I see the green kiwi, right? You only have one variety.
I don't think we have yellow kiwis on the
I
list.
think there's two.
There are yellows. Okay.
Kiwi also can sometimes irritate my mouth a little.
Yes, they're pretty
tart,
acidic too.
Do you eat the kiwi skin? No, right? You can.
Occasionally I do, but it's easy enough to peel it off that I usually don't.
Oh my god, I can't even imagine biting kiwi skin.
It's kind of like little leather, or not to put this image in your head, a little bit like a testicle.
All right, that's the preview clip, Brian.
Okay. That could be a bonus or a demerit for it, depending on your point of view. I like kiwis. These are solid. I'll also say these are, if you live in North America, these are almost all imported because they're all grown in New Zealand or Australia or whatever. I don't know how many of these we grow in North America. And so these are also like good year round. I don't know that there's necessarily a season for kiwis.
You can get them. Yeah,
you kind of get these whenever.
Yeah.
These also, I love the thing about kiwis. They're very shelf stable. If you only go shopping once a week, these are going to be good 7 days later.
Yeah.
They hold up really well on the counter or whatever. So for all those reasons, it's a very nice B for me.
B?
I feel like.
Yeah, top of B maybe.
Top of B.
Better than the green apples.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Way better.
Then,
than the green
I
apples.
think this is good. Yeah, kiwis all the way up.
Top of B. It could work its way up to an A. We'll see.
Yeah. And between green and yellow. How you feel?
Yellow's better.
Yellow.
And I think.
Okay. Yeah. I could go either way. I think it really depends on the mood.
Yeah, I
But-
think the yellow is a little bit more tart,
Sure.
maybe, which I kind of dig, but also like maybe a little smoother. Yeah, I think they're called like maybe sun-kissed kiwis, or like they have
Yeah.
different brand names, but you see the yellow and the outside, they look the exact same. It's the flesh that is yellow.
Yeah,
that's
right.
them right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would put those, you could put them right next to the green ones, but
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
I would put it right ahead of the green ones. Okay. Now,
Okay.
up next, one of my more controversial picks, a durian.
A durian.
Okay, now there's a very good chance you've never had a durian unless you're
Durian
from
is
Southeast Asia, or you've been to Southeast Asia, or you're the kind of person that seeks out strange foods. This is a controversial food, even amongst Southeast Asians. Durians are they're a very funky fruit.
Yeah,
When ripe,
it's a
they have an incredibly strong odor and taste, to the point there's famous stories of like them being banned on buses in
Yes,
Thailand
so bad.
because they stink up the whole bus and piss people off. They also, if you buy a whole durian, which I have in the past, they weigh about 20 pounds. They have a spiked tree bark shell that is
Yes.
like a
Oh my
medieval
God.
weapon.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
if you were
that's
to
right.
if you were to drop this on somebody, you would murder them.
Yes.
Because they are heavy
Yeah.
and hard. There's some fascinating videos on these getting harvested in like Thailand and places like that. The way the guys get them down from trees and stuff like that. I know every person I've ever given a durian to, or like a durian flavored food, has thought they were disgusting. I know I am an outlier.
No, I think it tastes good.
Enjoy durian.
Yeah, if you can get over this, if you can either get over the smell, or like obviously smell is so important to your sense of taste, but there is like a distinction with the durian where like it does taste good.
Yes.
I do like
and
the taste.
it's like a truffle.
Yeah,
Like a very
sure.
strong
Yeah,
flavored
yeah.
truffle mixed with a banana.
Yeah.
They also have a mushy texture. They get used a lot in ice cream and pastries in Asia because of the mushy texture.
Yeah.
They're not super consumer friendly in that, like, you know, you have a wooden shell you have to get through and ba. But like, boy, they are different. It's an experience.
it's an
It
experience.
is special when
High
you have durian.
charts off the charts on uniqueness there.
Yes.
Probably besides coconut, maybe the hardest user friendly
Yes.
usability.
And also just like, I don't even know how you're going to get your hands on it.
Yeah.
You have to seek out durian in North America, at least.
Shouting out some people in the chat who have some experiences with durian. Moonrise Andrew, who I know is one of our viewers in Asia, was saying not even buses, some apartments and hotels ban them here in Asia.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Wow, I love it. So all of that, and I know there's, for a lot of people, durian is a clear F because they just can't
Yes.
stand the flavor, and that's fine. For me, it's a C.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
would say
solid
C based on all the
I don't want it every
qualifications.
day, but when
Yeah.
I have it once a year or whatever, like I enjoy it and it's fun.
What is and Dr. Advocate first time chat saying it's the stuff of nightmares. I love when Twitch says who's the first time chat and what they decide to what they decide to.
This
hop
is
in
what
and
finally
say.
got you chatting.
Yeah. There's a lot of people hopping in to say like I think it was first time chat and said coconut should be F. Sorry, we're not doing that. Is this a fig? This next one?
This is figs.
Fig.
I-
We recently did a fig tasting of The Office.
Yes.
I was surprised at how much I liked them. I mean, I love fig Newtons, but I hadn't had a fig raw.
A
Thoughts on
good
figs? Fig?
ripe fig. Now, an unripe fig has no sweetness, very little flavor, not a great texture. A ripe fig, delicious. These are, of
Yeah.
course, also nice cooked in things like pastries, wrapped in bacon, yada, yada, yada. It's also like, it's a flavor of fall. You know, like
Ooh,
figs
yeah,
and
that's a good
apples
point,
and
yeah.
like cranberries. It's just like, we have in Southern California, there's a lot of fig trees. People just have them like in their apartment courtyards and stuff like that. I love it. They're a little
Yeah.
rarer. They're a little like tougher to pick out a ripe one.
Yeah, a little harder
They're
to get.
very delicate, so they don't travel great. So these feel like a C.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, C feels right. I also feel like maybe price per what you're getting, maybe a
Yes,
little
they're kind of
skewed that
expensive.
way.
Yeah. Okay, looks like we've got two different apple varieties up next. Is this like a F? Is this like a gala? What are we?
Matt, do you remember?
All right, one of them is Envy, one of them is Honey Crisp, and one of them is, I think, just like a generic apple.
Yeah.
There
Okay.
was
So
another one in there.
I'm gonna base. This looks like an Envy. This
first
one up next.
Okay.
And folks, this is our second S tier fruit right here. Envy apple. I mean, especially this is now widely available. Okay, I think most grocery stores, at least especially in the fall
Yeah.
during apple season, might have Envy apples. They are by far like the sweetest, best texture. best well-rounded flavor, whether you're just eating it out of hand, whether you're cutting it up, whether you're putting some peanut butter on it or dipping it in chocolate or whatever. It's a great all-around apple. And they're just consistently excellent.
And we had some envies right at the
Yes.
office last week. Yeah, I think that was one that I enjoyed. People in the chat shouting out their favorite. Honeycrisp is S.
Honeycrisp? Well, Honeycrisp might be B for me now.
Sorry, Rebel Mermaid.
I love a Honeycrisp. I think the Envy, the Cosmic Crisp, the Sugar Bee have all surpassed Honeycrisp for me.
Oh, Cathex's Night and Lil Cocolo asking where is the Pink Lady apple? Did we have those last week?
Yes. Yeah, there's a couple like a Pink Lady or Crips Pink.
Yeah.
A couple of those varieties. They're more tart apples. I'm not as big on, I like a sweet apple more than a tart apple. I think this next one, let's say this is Gala.
Yeah, I think
or
this
this
is
is like
Gala.
our generic term for like, yeah, whatever your bottom tier apple is.
I think there's Fuji remaining, and then Honeycrisp as well.
Where I'm trying to look.
It looks like there's 3 maybe.
Okay, so there's this one that's up next, and then there's 4 from now, that darker red one. Okay, so let's say this one's Fuji.
Yeah,
It kind of
okay.
looks like Fuji. It's often kind of like the lighter red. Fuji's solid, unremarkable. Again, I think like the newer varieties have passed it
Yeah, I
in
think
tastiness
so.
and texture and everything
We've
like that.
moved on from Fuji.
And so only because like we're getting kind of fat in the middle there, I'm gonna say this is a D tier.
D tier.
I'm
top
avoiding
of D. Top
I'm
of D.
avoiding Fuji's unless it's my only option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now we're looking at a blood orange.
Blood orange. A.
Grapefruit?
Oh, grapefruit.
Are they the same thing?
No.
different.
Okay,
They're
you're
very
right. You're right.
different.
This is a grapefruit. Okay, it's like a
Grapefruit?
ruby red grapefruit.
Grapefruit.
I gotta admit, this is a blind spot for me. I'm not a big citrus guy.
I'm
from
grapefruit.
I'm from the state of Florida, but like I'm just if you give me an option between like an apple, a banana, and any kind of citrus, I'm never gonna pick the
I have
citrus.
such a favorite memory associated with grapefruit where I went on the Disney cruise with my family as
Okay.
a little kid when the first or second year Disney cruise came out. And my dad like cut open a grapefruit. I had no idea what it was, and I watched him just take like 5 sugar packets and just pour all the sugar on the grapefruit. And I was like, what? And then it was great. I mean, the acidity mixed with the sugar, and it was like, oh, this is really good.
Yeah, but I mean, you could pour that sugar on like a penny loafer, and it probably tastes pretty good. I mean, it's not a great testament to the quality of a grapefruit.
I will say, I mean, obviously we're talking about the fruit itself and not the flavoring and taste as much, but when I was in Asia recently, dude, so many late nights where I was walking back, convenience stores open, walk in, get a cold grapefruit juice from 7-Eleven. Oh my God. Something about just like that type of, that sourness really hits for me.
And I love it in like a cocktail. Like kind of a tart, citrusy cocktail.
Yeah.
It's very good. I mean, I remember my dad used to love grapefruits, and he would section them. You kind of cut out, so you get none of the like the pith or the whatever.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the flesh. But
I will say because of that, right, the fleshy parts and the maybe it can lean too tart at times.
Yes.
Maybe top of C. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you top of C.
Okay.
It's not my bag, but I can see how other people would like it. Now we're to our red grapes.
Red grapes.
Red grapes are good, man. A nice ripe grape.
A tier.
A. This is A. Bottom of A, but it's A.
Everyone in the chat is like, we need these polls. Listen, you see how many fruits left?
We're not even halfway through. We might not get to all of these. We might start bouncing around a little bit. I do want to. Our next one is. I think that's a guava.
Guava.
And here's the thing. I know if I had grown up in Central America or South America, I'd have very different opinions on guava.
Yeah.
I probably didn't have a guava till I was 25, and have not had a lot of them. But I'm not into guavas. As a paste in a like a Central American pastry.
So when you
it's a tasty flavor.
when you cut a guava, like what is the texture? I don't think I've had a raw guava before.
It's like it's mush. It's like a like a softer melon kind of, but with a thinner skin. Here in California, you get a lot of these like mini guavas that are kind of a little bit more tart and are kind of like the size of kiwis. I'm just not into it, and I would never just like grab one raw. So these are D tier for me, guavas.
Oof.
And again, I understand
Sorry,
that's my
guava.
cultural blind spot, and I'm sure if I grew up eating guavas, I'd feel differently.
Yeah.
Let's
Sorry,
bounce around a
Elijah
little bit.
Dante.
Sorry, apologies to guava lovers. But here, I'm going to bounce around and let's get to some. Let's do the raspberry.
Oh
we were
yeah,
talking about
raspberry.
earlier.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier.
Kind of the final of our big berries.
Yeah, raspberry.
I love a raspberry when it's good.
When it's but that's
When
the
it's
thing,
fresh
good.
and firm, and they've got like that like clean kind of mild tartness and sweet. I'd still probably take a perfect blackberry over a perfect raspberry, but damn, a perfect raspberry. This for me is top of the B.
Top
It's either
of the B?
Top B.
I feel like I'm so skewed with all my bad raspberry experiences.
Yeah, they have a shorter shelf life.
I do want to
be a little fragile.
I do want to see what the chat rolls in giving them a minute to vote. But I do want to ask you. Shri is asking, Zach, did you eat a pink guava or a white guava? They taste very different.
Okay, fair. I think I've only had pink guava, so maybe I'd feel differently if I've had white guava. And
Yeah.
I'll admit, I've only had guava a couple times as far as in fruit form. I've had it as a filling in a pastry a lot, and it just, didn't spark enough joy in me to keep exploring.
Sparking up joy.
I'll admit, again, I've sampled very little guava, so that could be a high riser for me in the future.
I will say, okay, so we have with blackberry, raspberry, and blueberry. Feels like if one of these berries were to be S tier, are you going with blackberry?
Blackberry's S tier for
blackberry?
me, yeah. If it needs to be. I'm not ready to move it there yet.
Chat going S tier for raspberry. I think B tier is good for it.
They could both be A tier for me. I think they're both great.
Bump raspberry
and
up to
actually, just to complete our kind of berry journey, we need to do strawberries now.
Oh, strawberries? Yeah.
I think these are like the most omnipresent,
Yes.
the most accessible berries, right? Strawberries, summertime is like, you can get these year round now, but during the summer, a nice ripe strawberry.
Dude, strawberry's so good.
And it's like, it's great in so many ways, right? Like in pastry form
Yeah.
and raw, obviously. I will say, unlike the other three main berries, you got to do a little work.
Yeah,
There's a
that's
stem
true.
involved. There's a little bit of
Involved.
pith, right? Like maybe you either got to core them or you're eating around it.
Yeah,
you get a little garbage.
I'd love to get a little bit more, like in 2025, just like kind of get a little bit more like bear-like and be comfortable with eating the leaves on the strawberry.
Hell yeah, dude.
Just not waste any part.
I
Just
mean,
fucking eat,
do
just
you
eat the berry full.
do you eat the tails on shrimp?
I don't eat shrimp.
Oh, you don't eat shrimp
I
at
don't
all.
eat shrimp,
Okay,
sorry.
I had a friend that started eating. He always ate the tails on shrimp, and I was like, I will try this. This will be a bold new choice for me. And
Yeah.
I don't do it all the time, but it's fun. So let me know how eating the greens on a strawberry goes.
I've been trying to do broccoli stalk, so I'm getting along there, you know?
Yeah.
S, strawberry. Chat's leaning S.
No, not for me. It's my least favorite of the popular, only because, again, this is fully biased. The previously stated, it takes a little bit of work. You can't just like shove your hand in and eat them by the handful like you can with blackberries and raspberries. And they give me a little bit of heartburn if I eat a lot of them. And that's just me. I understand that that's not you.
Are you
but
sure that that's not your passion for berries bleeding through?
Fair. I think it's my body rejecting strawberries, frankly. Especially in the volumes in which I like to eat them.
Oh my god.
So this is B tier for me. Strawberries are B.
Wow, what?
Yep, there you
Wait,
go.
I feel like if I'm saying S and the chat is voting S, we have to compromise bottom of A.
Bottom of A, fine. Fine. Let's bounce around because I don't think we're going to get to everybody else. So, like, what do we feel like we have to acknowledge? I have to talk about watermelon.
Yeah, watermelon.
I grew up in the South eating a ton of watermelon.
Uh-huh.
It's still one of my favorite things. I think it's like dollar for dollar. It's one of your best values when you buy them in season and like on sale when it's like 20 cents a pound or whatever. And just like, there's nothing like cutting up a full-size watermelon, having a giant-ass Tupperware thing of
Yeah, of
cold,
all the cold watermelon, yeah.
in your fridge and just like
Yeah.
after dinner, just pulling that out and just getting nasty with your friends and family and like the juice all over the place and it's sweet and it's wet and it's, that's summer, baby.
Sounds like you could also be describing something else when it's wet and it's sweaty and you're getting nasty with your friends and family.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Evan. What, honeydew?
Yeah.
Honey, don't. More like it. Watermelon or S tier for me.
Oh, dude.
It's the best melon. And
I don't know.
again, you buy one of these in February, you're not in for a good time. And they're not always user-friendly in picking out a good one. I will say a little tip. When picking out a watermelon, go for heaviest. Heavy means, so the more sugar that's in the fruit, the more water it retains, so the heavier it will be. So like if you just, right, like all this knocking and smelling doesn't really work as well for watermelons, but like weight per size is your best indicator.
Really quick, Mazosaurus asking if you've ever had a Macoun apple, M-A-C-O-U-N?
M-A-C?
O-U-N. Yeah,
I don't think I
they
have.
don't have them in Los Angeles, so
No.
keep an eye out for
what,
that.
What part of the world are you in?
Drop it in, Mazosaurus. All right, what other are must-hit
what
fruits?
else
It feels
must
like
we hit?
a lemon, S tier.
What? That's a bit.
That's a bit. However, I would eat a raw lemon.
Ooh, Evan. I mean, I love a lemon in a cocktail. I love squirting a lemon on food, but never eating out of hand. So just based on the rankings we've established here, that is F.
That is F? Are you?
That is F. What do you prefer, lemon or lime? I'm always surprised when people have hard opinions on that.
I don't have hard opinion.
They
on
both,
it.
they're
I
both
think they're
kind
both
of
good.
similar to me.
Gun to my head, I'd say lemon.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Now, I wanna just try to fill out the F tier real quick.
Cucumbers.
Well, yeah, I mean they don't even really count as fruits. I feel like.
Yeah, this was in the tab called non-fruit fruits, I think.
Yeah, I want to say kumquats.
Kumquats?
F tier.
F tier?
I feel like kumquats. What's the ponzu or no? What's the Japanese citrus that sometimes all these like obscure citrus fruits that fancy bars like to put in their cocktails or like Ponzi chefs like to. It's like you could have just used orange juice.
Yeah,
like
sure,
you think
yuzu,
it's like
yeah.
Buddha's hand or all this shit. They all just taste like oranges or lemons. Like quit trying to be fancy. So like kumquats, which technically you can eat whole. It has like a thin enough skin, but they taste gross. And very strong flavor. Kumquats are F tier for me.
Yeah.
That's the fourth one on the top row.
Oh. So what's that one? Is that
That's
30?
a Kiwano melon, I believe.
Okay.
Which you can leave that in the F tier. I'm fine with that too. Kiwano melons, again, I've probably only had those 2 or 3 times in my life. Didn't think they were that great.
All right, so that one, that orange
also
one.
that one, also that kumquat, also F tier.
Okay, so what was the one that you were just talking about?
No, those are
those
that's
the ones.
Kiwano
Okay,
is the one that
Kiwano,
ranks the lemon,
yeah,
and then a kumquat.
Okay, got it.
Pomegranates also F tier for me.
Yeah,
I
think
love
2C,
a pomegranate, like I think they're called like tendrils or whatever. When it's separated out and it's just a little nub, great. They taste good. I could eat those by the spoonful or whatever. The work you have to do. And not only while you're doing this work, you might slice your hand open.
Yeah.
Done it. You might, just the shrapnel in your kitchen, okay, of like blood. It's like, everything's getting stained. Your fingers are going to be pink, like you're freaking, a weirdo Agatha Harkness cosplayer out there. Like all the mess, it takes you 15 minutes and you're with a quarter cup of fruit. No, thank you. Keep your pomegranates.
Dr. Advocate in the chat saying skill issue. Classic.
Of course it is. Also, I know, again, if I grew up in Syria or somewhere in the Middle East where like pomegranates are or Greece or whatever, like I understand it. I would have higher skill. I'd be better at it. But for Zach Huddleston from Lake City, Florida.
All right, let's hit another one that I think is divisive in that same vein. Mangoes? Are mangoes on the list here?
Yes, they must.
Right there.
There it is. S.
Dude, S
that
tier,
is top
S
of
tier.
the S tier.
Because even though it requires a lot of the same kind of cutting
Yes,
and everything,
yes.
but if you know how to do it,
and you cannot tell me. I mean, again, all things equal like a perfectly ripe mango at the peak of its powers. There is nothing like that.
yeah, it's so good.
And I haven't even eaten them in I'm sure if I were in Asia, eating them I'm sure you guys get better ones over there than we even get here, or that long ass boat ride isn't helping them out or whatever. I'm sure I haven't even had absolutely peak mango, but a ripe mango,
Yeah, it's
it's transcendent. It goes beyond fruit.
I thought that was gonna be divisive, but it wasn't. That's great. Starfruit, really quick. I want to get your opinion on that. I think a starfruit is a solid C tier fruit.
It might be D for me.
Wow.
Again, they're fun. They look
bland?
cool, but yeah, they're so
Too bland.
bland.
Too
You
bland.
feel like they would taste better than they do.
Top of D. Put it above that apple, man.
I'm fine with
Give me
that.
my
Top of
starfruit
D.
representation.
Top of
Let's blow through some.
I saw
more
we didn't
really
really
quick.
do any peaches, nectarines.
Oh, peaches.
We should
Yeah,
do one of those.
Peaches. What? Top of B.
It might be bottom of B for me. I mean, a good ripe peach is so delicious,
So
a
good.
juicy one. But man, that skin is thin. They get beat up easy. They're hard to find when they're perfectly ripe.
Yeah.
So the user friendliness a little low for peaches.
Yeah.
For me.
Also, I'm very allergic to peaches. So.
Okay. Wow. I'm learning so much about you. Evan.
Okay. Or just normal oranges. I think.
It's D for me.
D for you? No. Put it a C. Orange is C. Because they always go bad in my house. Did we rank a normal pineapple? Is that the pineapple on the right? all the
Yeah.
way on the right.
Yeah, I like the
that's-
normal pineapple.
yeah.
That's like top of B.
Too much cutting, though?
Or I guess, well, it has to go after the mini.
Yeah.
After the baby.
After
but
the baby.
Yeah.
And then what are
Pears?
some big ones. Pears.
Regular
normal
pears, non-Asian pears.
C.
Yeah.
Yeah. C.
Feels
Yeah,
like-
that's a pretty average.
Again,
for-
when it's ripe, it's great. Hard to
Yeah.
get them perfect ripe.
the chat is going crazy, but hey, we're trying to get these things on the board here.
That's right.
What is
and
this?
I say we don't even rank like eggplant, cucumber, pumpkins.
Yeah,
Those are
okay.
technically fruits, but they feel like they're vegetal fruits, kind of like it's
We
not
wanted
worth.
to put those small cherries up higher, right?
Oh, Rainier cherries are top of A for
Mm-hmm. Okay.
me. I would put those right ahead of the blackberries. Those
Alright.
are so good.
I've never had it, and maybe I'm not allergic to those kinds.
Oh, you probably are.
What is this apple again that's left? This
Oh.
would be the Honeycrisp? No. This would be the
We said
It's Honeycrisp.
Honeycrisp?
okay.
Yeah.
We're saying those are Honeycrisp.
Honeycrisp
I
is
like
a-
a Honeycrisp. That would be my
Fine.
second favorite. Envy is a S tier. Honeycrisp feels like top of B. It's a
Okay.
good apple. And again, like the generations of apple, back in the day, we only had like Red Delicious and Granny Smith, and those became garbage over time. Then we had this kind of first wave of like Fuji's and Galas that were very available, and they were good for a while. Then like the Honeycrisp came in, changed the game.
Changed.
Thank you for your service, Honeycrisp. But since then, a lot of new varieties have come in that are even better, and so that's the only thing that knocks it down.
Papaya. I see papaya on there, right? The
I
orange
like
with
a
the black
papaya.
seed. I
It's
do
got
like
a little
papaya.
funkiness. That's
Yeah.
nice when you see that in a fruit salad.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a little different.
Papaya salad too, very good.
I
in
don't always
general.
feel great about my ability to pick out a ripe one. But
What do you think? B? B tier.
I got to put it above guava, but it might only be C for me. Might just be C.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
again,
bottom is C.
cultural bias. I know. I'm certain if I grew up eating more
Yeah.
papaya, I'd feel differently.
Yeah. Okay.
I do want to shout out because they're in season right now. The persimmon.
Oh yeah, we did a persimmon taste.
We've been eating persimmons in the office. Now this is, I believe, the Fuyu persimmon, not the Hichaya. There are two very different types of persimmon that.
They're both on there.
Oh, they're both on there. Thank you. Okay. Well, let's start with the Fuyu. The Fuyu are the firm persimmons that you can eat like an apple. Okay, they're like good the day you buy them. Tasty, mild, fleshy fruit. Has a little bit of like a pumpkin undertone to it. Love these. Big in East Asia, Japan, Korea. We get them a lot here in California. I think for that reason, because of the Asian diaspora here. I don't know if you can get them in other parts of the country.
I'm sure. I mean, I definitely grew up eating them in New Jersey.
Oh, okay,
So,
great.
yeah.
Yeah, so you can. These are great.
Yeah.
And they're just like a nice change of pace. If you've been having a lot of like apples and pears
Yeah,
to mix in a
switch it up.
persimmon, and it's like they're pretty hardy. You could throw those in your lunch bag
Yeah.
and they won't get too beat up. They don't really bruise. These are great. Now, the Hichaya, that's the one right next to it. Yes. So these are a beast of a different order. Okay? These, they're usually bigger, taller, a little bit more bulbous. And so these, they have to be all the way ripe. They have to be full mush or they're completely inedible. They have that like nail polish remover, like they will suck the moisture out of your mouth. They're so like, they taste like poison if they're not ripe. Now then once they're ripe, they're so sweet. It's like eating fruit pudding.
Ooh.
Okay, they almost, like it's all juice. It's like a hyper ripe peach. But because of multiple times I've bought these and I'm like, this thing's so soft, it's gotta be edible. You bite in, whoa! Not only do you have a bad experience, but it's not like, oh, you can save the rest of this. I invested a week in this and it's toast now because I didn't wait long enough. And I'm an impatient person. I don't have the patience for Hichaya persimmons.
I have to ask my friend. They're making a bunch of persimmon pudding for the holidays, and they're like, "I'll deliver you some. I'll drive, drop some off, and I'll have to ask them which persimmon they used."
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a great one. I mean, again, everybody should experience them at least once in their life, but they are just impractical, the big pain in the ass that they are. So I would say the Fuyu, the first one there, I think those are top of B for me.
Okay.
And the Hichayas,
Okay.
I think just because of how much of a pain they are, I got to go D.
Gotta go D. Okay.
They're fun. It's a fun experience, but it's just the risk and reward.
As we kind of start to wind down here, lime, C tier.
Yep. That's right.
Lychee, little hard to work with, but very good.
Very good. Now, can I be honest? Lychee versus rambutan. They're both kind of similar size.
Yeah.
They have a little shell. I forget which is which. Which one has the little spiky things
Rambutan.
coming off? That's
Rambutan,
rambutan.
yeah.
Lychee is more like brown,
Yes. Yeah.
kind of golf ball
Yes.
looking guys.
Yeah.
They're both so good. But yeah, lychee's probably better, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
B?
Is it that one or is it the?
Yeah, that's them
Yeah,
there,
that's
right?
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that one.
They're good.
Okay.
They're like it's like a more flavorful grape.
Yeah.
It does have the seed and the shell.
Slightly different texture though too.
But kind of like a fresh kind of vibe to it. I will say they suffer from the cherry problem.
Yes.
You got a lot of mess.
A lot of mess.
It's not easy to shovel them in, but they're very funky and
What's
fun.
that purple one with the orange? Is that a plum?
Oh wait, we got a passion fruit in there somewhere, right?
Oh,
2 to
yeah.
the left of that. I think the 5th from that one. Okay, I have strong feelings about passion fruit. One of my favorite flavors. I had a passion fruit flavored wedding cake when I got married. These are great. You don't see them raw very often.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of things are just passion fruit
No,
flavored.
and they
yeah.
look. This can be the second time I reference this. They look like a testicle. They get a little when they're ripe. They're brown. They're wrinkly. There's no hair, but they look like a little withered leather testicle sack. And you can
never
shake
mind.
them.
That's the
You
preview
know
clip.
the great thing about passion fruit. You know they're ripe when they sound like a maraca because the little flesh inside.
Yeah.
I love the flavor. There's nothing better, but they're a pain in the ass, and you get like a quarter of a teaspoon of fruit in each one you open.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a D.
Okay, yeah, okay. So move that to the. Okay, that's what I thought. The picture you used for lychee that we picked for lychee, that's the long gone. That's the dragon eye fruit, which I've had, which I think is actually a little bit worse than lychee.
So wait, the actual lychee is the red
the
shell.
red one, yeah.
Yes.
And the rambutan is the
yeah,
rambutan, that red shell right
Rambutan
there.
is farther down.
Yes, so
especially these are alphabetic,
That's
right?
rambutan,
So
yeah. So move the red one, the lychee. So rambutan. We were saying what? That's D. That's C.
I'd put them
Rambutan
all
C.
C. I
C,
kind of like
okay.
them all the same amount. Do you think like
C.
one is better than the other?
I think lychee's the best out of the 3.
Okay, so put the 4th from the left. That goes B.
Yeah.
And then we can move the long gone back down to C. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Shout out to Andrew, thank you.
Thank
also,
you.
please let Zach know he might want to try Sitafale, custard apple, ice apple, and Masambi, sweet lemon, if he can ever find them at an Asian or Indian market. I think specifically maybe Indian market there.
That's great.
Okay, yeah. I mean, any
feels-
final ones that we should have hit on
You
this
know,
list?
there's like plums and nectarines and like jackfruit down there, but fuck them. I feel like we did a pretty good job. We got a nice wide range. We covered a lot of different parts of the world here. I'm sure there's some big ones we left out.
I think
but-
what's going to be really interesting too is if we take this tier list, right? You know, the holidays are coming up. We do our thing. We watch Skeleton Crew. We watch Craven. You know, we come back in the new year, and all the fruit be on the table. We see if they hold up to the ranking.
Ooh, a taste test? We can even do like a blind taste test because I bet there's a lot of people that work at New Rockstars that have not had a lot of these.
Yeah.
Right? And might not have clearly, decided on preferences. So it would even be fun to bring in some impartial people.
Yeah, that's
Give them a
true.
longin. Give them a cherimoya. See where these things stack up.
Oh,
right?
boy.
Also, you know the one thing we didn't do? And this is just my last hobby horse, okay? Honeydew melon. Do we have a honeydew melon on there? There it is.
yeah.
Okay, the picture's a little different there.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people dislike honeydew melon.
Uh-huh.
And here's my take on honeydew melon. I think they are one of the hardest ones to pick out. And so 90% of the honeydew
They're
people
bad.
have had
Yeah.
is unripe, right? And it's bad in a fruit salad when it's unripe and it's just the gross, bland, green melon that's in there mixed in with tastier things. A ripe honeydew. I once talked to a honeydew farmer from Central California.
Oh.
And when I mentioned to him that feels like it's a controversial melon a lot of people don't like, he said, "Oh yeah, I can understand that. I mean, they're so sweet. Sometimes it's too sweet for people." And I'm like, "Sir, that is not why people don't like honeydew." But he is only picking out
The best
perfectly ripe
honeydews,
honeydew.
yeah.
And when you get a perfectly
When
ripe
you get-
honeydew,
oh,
it's
God.
sweeter than watermelon.
Yeah.
It's sweeter than cantaloupe. They are the sweetest melon, but they're hard to find. Here's
Yeah.
my last tip. Look for spiderweb-esque markings on your honeydew melon.
Oh, yeah.
And you want it to be as least green as possible, the outside. A little bit more yellow, brownish, a little less
interesting.
green. But those spiderweb markings are called sugar lines.
Uh-huh.
And they're the sign of a sweeter melon.
Oh,
So
interesting.
next summer, when you're
Yeah.
picking out your honeydews, give it another
know.
shot. That'll be my final one. Can I add honeydew, end of A tier? I know that's a controversial pick. I know the chat is not going to agree.
How did you end up talking to a honeydew farmer? That's what everyone wants to know.
Well,
For the podcast?
I did a little thing called the Fruitful Podcast. And you know what? You know who's surprisingly easy to interview? Fruit farmers.
Wow.
They're not getting a lot of press inquiries. I talked to multiple fruit farmers
That's incredible.
for my podcast that might have only been listened to by my mom.
And hey, about to be at least 5 more people. Thank you so much for tuning in on this this fruit tier list. We learned so much today. I learned that Zach was more passionate about fruit than I could have ever imagined.
I know. If only I cared this much about my work at New Rockstars.
Thank you so much for watching whenever you're watching. We'll be back soon with some more content about all the nerdy news that you love. If we haven't hit 100K subscribers yet, we're very close. So make sure you hit subscribe and also follow the Breakroom on all the social platforms, including Blue Sky. We'll catch you later.
May your bananas be peeled, your grapes firm, and your apples envy.